Never mind.
Hi, everyone. You're welcome to Christian Therapy, and it is your host, Aisha Verano. And today we have two special guests. One is Jeremiah.
Hello.
Hi. And
Hi.
Lola. Hi,
Hey
girl.
guys.
How are
Hey.
you?
Good.
Okay. Are you guys ready for today's topic?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Yeah.
Where's the
Right.
energy? Jeremy's like,
Yay, we're
yeah.
ready. Come on.
Okay, so
Ready.
cheers. For you guys
Cheers.
that are curious, that is not beer, by the way.
Ugh,
It's not. It's
disclaimer.
apple juice.
Apple juice with
Just so
ice.
you guys know, we're not encouraging anyone here.
Don't drink.
No. Don't drink,
So
kids.
you guys already have the questions, but I'm just going to repeat it. Can you flirt with someone else while you're in a relationship with someone else? Is it okay to flirt with someone else? Would you classify flirting with someone else as cheating? So yeah, what do you guys think? Take it away.
Okay.
Ladies first, as usual.
Ladies first. Okay, so is flirting cheating? I would say no, but again, this is my own personal opinion. I don't think flirting is cheating. However, I do feel like flirting is a step towards cheating, right? I feel like after you flirt, the next step is cheating, right? So I wouldn't consider flirting cheating. That's my own 2 cents for now.
Okay.
Okay.
Jeremy?
Um, it may not be always outright cheating, but it comes down to the intentions. What are your intentions with you flirting, and what is flirting? Do you get it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just being friendly with someone that we call flirting, or is it a step away from that into something else that we call flirting? So we need to be able to define what flirting is. It gives a better perspective. Then, if flirting is more than just being friendly,
Mm-hmm.
then it means that the word flirting or the act of flirting has a purpose. So
Mm-hmm.
you've already crossed a line of just being friendly when you flirt with someone, meaning that there is an intent.
Mm-hmm.
If there's an intent, then if you are in a relationship and you flirt with someone, it means that there's a romantic or some sort of either sexual or romantic intent.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, it kind of, yeah, you are kind of guilty. Now, obviously, certain people do not know the
Mm-hmm.
difference
Mm,
between friendliness and then flirting, or
Mm-hmm.
and it could be down to several reasons. But at the same time, uh, what you may not appreciate your partner doing, possibly, I mean, you know, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Really.
Right. I think like one thing that would be helpful is if we like found the definition of flirting. And now I'm trying to find the definition of flirting on Google, and it say behave as though you're sexually attracted to someone, but playfully rather than with serious intentions.
Right.
So, do you think does that change the conversation in any way? It's like it's a playful thing. You have no serious intentions. Does that make any difference?
Do you know something that I read? I read something some years ago. It said joking is just a funny way of being serious. I don't think
mm,
Mm,
you joke about something that you don't find funny.
mm,
right.
Then, if I joke about somebody's face, it means that I definitely have a thoughts about the person's face that is not normal or it's not what it should be.
mhm,
So if I start making a joke about it, it means that I have thoughts, about it. So if I'm gonna joke saying that I'd like to have, to get to know someone or sexually attracted to someone or
mhm,
whatever, it means this attraction is there, and I shouldn't kid myself in behaving or pretending that it's not. It's there. I'm just
mhm,
trying to say, if I could, I would, but let's just laugh about it. At the end of the day, the attraction is there. The what that brings us into is it an issue? Is it a problem being attracted to someone else
mm.
or in a
Is
relationship?
it?
For me, I don't think so. I don't think it's just hear me out. Yes, yes, it is an issue, right? But I think it would be very silly and it would be very unrealistic to say that, okay, if you're in a relationship with someone, you're not going to be attracted to someone else. Even when you're married to someone, you're not blind, you know? Even if you're blind, you can still be attracted to someone else.
Yeah.
But I think it's an issue when you act on that attraction or that feeling. That's when, for me, it's a problem. And I do understand there's girls out there who, the minute their guy tells them that, you know, they're attracted to someone else or whatever, it's like a deal breaker for them, and, you know, all hell breaks loose. But for me personally, if you're just admitting that you're attracted to someone else, you know, as long as you don't, you know, as long as you don't like act on it, as long as you don't start like a conversation with them, you're hanging out with them, you know, you're doing secret stuff up and down, like, because like, I'm just going to be honest, if I'm in a relationship, I will be attracted to other guys, and that's the reality, that's the honest truth. You know, like, let's not all play here. If you see someone that's fine, you're going to be like, oh, the person is fine, and you keep it moving. Is that a deal breaker now? Does that mean that the relationship should be over, the marriage should be over? Oh, of course not. It just means that you should be matured and you should have some level of understanding. I mean, I'm quite an open and honest person if I'm in a relationship or a friendship or whatever, but I do understand that some people, they are not as honest. They might be working with a colleague who they think is like, you know, fire or whatever, and say nothing about it. That's their own.
So do you feel like if you're attracted to someone, do you think that's a conversation you need to have with your partner, or is that like a conversation you need to keep to yourself?
Jeremy, I would not agree to keep to your damn self. It just depends on the situation. I think for me, if I'm noticing that, okay, I'm attracted to this guy and I'm starting to have feelings of like, maybe I want to be with them physically. No, it's true. No, because attraction builds.
Okay, all right.
Especially if you're in close proximity with the person.
Right.
I'm working in the same place, we're at the same uni, we're in the same class, we're sitting right beside each other every class doing buddy. If I'm noticing that this thing is building, then it's a conversation that I would either have with myself, with the person, or with my partner. Now, I won't go and say, oh man, I feel like doing this with that person. No, obviously there's wisdom. There's wisdom in these things. Like, I don't want to break my relationship entirely, you know? But you might just hint to your partner that, okay, there's something there and this is the boundaries that you're putting into place or something. As a girl, I feel like maybe because I'm an open and honest person, I would do that, you know. But I can see Jeremy nodding his head saying never. So
Jeremy, I'm curious to hear what you're saying.
He's like, never.
Well, so you rightly said it depends on the circumstance. So I could be going somewhere with my girl,
Right.
or we could be watching TV, or we could, you know, and then, oh, she's pretty.
Right.
Now that's a whole different situation.
Right.
You get it? And that situation does not warrant any action, or does not even give a possibility for any action.
Right.
So you can be genuinely or sincerely having a discussion about someone. It's like, oh yeah, she's pretty, yeah, she's a pretty girl, or yeah, you know, or she's got a big bum or whatever. Like, do you get, like, yeah, but to say that, ooh, I'm attracted to this person, so let's have a conversation about it, then you are already introducing a level of seriousness to it, where you're now making it into a problem. And if I'm your man and you come and tell me that you feel that way about another one, I'll be concerned. I'm not concerned because I'm naive. You find someone else attractive. I get it. We all do. It's natural to find people attractive, regardless where you are in life. It's normal. But when it's that deep to sit down and have a conversation about it, then it's a problem. You see, so even if the person is within close proximity, it's fine. You know, I listened to a message by, I think his name is Apostle Selman, Joshua Selman.
Yeah.
He was saying something about being too close to them.
Right.
Right.
When Lot left Abraham, he didn't necessarily go to Sodom, but he was close to Sodom. Before he knew, eventually he found himself in Sodom. It means that wisdom being applied to prevent the situation, or to prevent yourself find yourself in a place where it becomes something. You know, So it doesn't necessarily become something because you're attracted to someone. Like you rightly said, it's normal to be attracted to people. You know, it's normal to find people. The truth is, if you're waiting to marry the person that you find the most attractive in life, you never marry because you
Hmm.
always meet someone
That's
who is
deep.
more attractive.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
get?
true.
Or
Yeah.
you always at least know of someone who's more attractive, or you always meet someone who you might even be more compatible with, or you might get
Yeah.
along more, you might have more chemistry. It's life because you cannot
Mhm.
meet a single individual in this world. Unfortunately, we don't have that option, and even if we did, there's no guarantee on us. Do you get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So um, that aspect will always be there.
Mhm.
However, are you? Is it going to be something, or is it not going to? Like you said, the action you're gonna act on it, or
Mm.
if you're not acting on it, that is becoming a problem. Why is it becoming a problem? Why can
Mhm.
you not just think somebody's attractive and
Move on.
move on? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like you're trying to diet and you see cheese on the table and whatnot. You're committed to your diet, so you're not thinking. I mean, that's even that example is not even fair because, like,
Mhm.
yeah, you keep to yourself and keep it moving. It's normal to
Mhm.
find people attractive, but I don't think you have to communicate it.
About it.
About it, I just feel like it just depends on the level of friendship that you have with the guy you're in a relationship with as well,
Mhm.
right? Because I feel like if you have a very close friendship where you're both very open and honest, because I've been in this situation, right, where we have a great level of friendship, we've known each other for years. I like to keep it real, I'm honest. Like, and then maybe the guy realized that there's a girl somewhere, whatever, that he's becoming a bit more, whatever. He will let me know, and he will also let me know the boundaries that he's going to put in place to ensure that
Mm.
whatever will not happen. And I appreciate that. I appreciate someone letting me and hinting. He might not come to me and say directly, like, girl, this person, like, he might not come and be a bit, explicit and stuff, but he will hint to me that, okay, there's something going on here, and I'm going to put a stop to this by doing X, Y, Z or whatever.
Mhm.
That's just my own way. And I know that that's not for everyone, but
Mhm.
I like to feel like the person I'm in a relationship with can be open and honest with me.
Mhm.
Or, for example, they might not even have to come and tell me. In a situation where maybe you're in a friend group and
Mhm.
you notice one of the girl is eyeing your man somehow, she's doing the most. When you guys are together, you can clearly see that her motive in that function is to come and get your man, not to be there and enjoy herself. Then,
Right.
even in that situation, I feel like I can see that she's flirting with him. He might not be flirting back to her, but I feel like it's a conversation that we need to have as well. Like, oh, babe, I noticed, blah, blah, blah. It's just the level of friendship that we have. And that's the way I feel like I want my relationship to be. I want the person to be comfortable enough to come to me and let me know that this is how I'm feeling. And it's a situation where I don't start getting angry. And I suppose maybe it's a level of maturity. Because I know
Mhm.
some girls, you say something like that to them, that's the relationship
What?
done. Like there's World War I, and they're coming for the girls with their friend. But
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, but I'm of the opinion that, okay, you've said this, okay, no problem.
Mhm.
Like let's, tell me the boundaries you're gonna put in place, and let's put a stop to this or whatever. Because another thing I feel like ladies need to understand is that it's better that this is someone that we should be aware of. Because
Mm.
sometimes you end up like bringing that particular person even closer to you because
Mhm.
in your mind, oh, this is a good person, we're going to be best friend. When you don't know that your man is actually struggling,
Mm.
he's struggling, he's like, girl. But if he lets me know, then I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe we should not hang out or, just push you.
Just leave
Again,
the guy
do you
together.
get what I mean? And this is not for everyone, but this is something that I've experienced before. And I feel like I would want going forward.
Mm.
I know everyone is not going to agree with this, but for me, I
Right.
feel like this is something that I want, open and honest
Right.
relationship. Sorry, go
Is
ahead.
that I
Mhm.
know you said something about like you've experienced that before. Is that like were you on the receiving
Right.
end or were you the one actually saying, see, I'm attracted to this guy? Or were you on the receiving
I
end?
think I think it was both ways. So for one of my relationship, it was me feeling like, okay, putting in the boundaries and then having the conversation of, okay, why this person is not hanging out with us anymore.
Oh, I
Or,
see.
and I've also experienced it, like, from, the guy I'm dating telling me, like, girl, help me. And to be honest, like, I listened to this preaching, and the pastor was basically saying that he got to a point in his ministry where he started struggling with pornography and masturbation and all this kind of stuff. And he tried to kind of resolve the situation himself, and it didn't work. But he ended up having a conversation with his wife. Now, she didn't get mad, she didn't get bitter, she didn't start calling him all sort of names, she didn't start going crazy like most girls would. She realized that this, my husband, he's struggling. She realized that, yes, he's a strong man of God, he's been doing ministry for many years, but at this point, he's struggling and I need to help him. Do you get what I mean? And that's why I said that it's probably a level of maturity, because not everybody can handle that. The minute you hear that he's doing this or whatever, you start going crazy, you start calling everyone, no. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, that's just my take anyway.
Okay, well, you've said a lot, and
Right.
if I may,
Okay.
first and foremost, okay, well, the situation that you gave is a bit different in the sense that, for example, I mean, it's a bit of a different situation. For example, I'm in a friend, so I've got a friendship group with there are girls, there are guys, and all that stuff. It's very normal for someone to start liking me or whatever, So that's normal. In that case, it's a different situation. It's not just, oh, I find the person attractive. The point I'm trying to make is, at the junction that you begin to have these conversations about that, it means that it's no longer, oh, just, oh, I think this person is good looking or attractive. It's gone beyond that. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, if it's gone beyond that, then that's a whole different situation there. You see what I'm saying? But merely to say that, oh, I'm attracted to this person, or this person, oh, I think, yes, that friendship in a relationship is good. But, people joke all the time, especially girls, more so girls, to their boyfriend or to their husband, that, oh, that's my husband. Oh, like, you get it? Like, let's just say,
Wow.
yeah, like they can be watching a movie and saying that Denzel is their husband, or do you get all that stuff?
That's true.
Do you get it? And that's fine. In that same light, they can make those comments, and because it's jovial and there is nothing to it, it seems okay. Right? We can, because of our relationship, we can laugh about it and like, yeah, go to your husband then. Do you get it? We're cool. But once it becomes a deep conversation, and it's not someone who acts in a movie or
it's like someone next door.
Oh dear.
When it's the next door neighbor and it's a conversation, like you can make a joke in person. Like, I mentioned that I have an ex who went to my friend's house and she made a certain comment how she would do something to him if she was not with me or whatever. And that, but even that was communicated in a jovial way. In that case, even though it was so alarming and concerning, I could overlook that because it wasn't serious. But if she came to me and said, "Listen," then we
have a problem.
We have a problem.
Do you know what? I see what Jeremy is saying in the sense that, like, if you come to me, then I automatically think it's more serious, even if to you it might not have been that serious. And I get what you're saying, because, like, if I think about it, if my man came to me and said to me, like, oh, okay, so there's this girl at work that I find attractive, I'll be thinking, okay, we all find people attractive. What's the problem? Do you know what I mean? And then I'll be thinking, wait, what has happened? You know what I mean? That would probably be my reaction. So I'll be thinking, like, what has happened? How serious is this? Do you like her? That would be my questioning, because I'll be thinking, for you to come to me to tell me specifically. Like, it's a different thing if we're in passing and we saw the girl and we're like, this girl is fine, though. And then you both see, and then you both laugh, and then you both move on, and it's cool. But if you come to me and have a conversation, I'll be thinking, like, yo, wait, are you even flirting with this girl? What is it? What's the communication like? I would be asking all sorts of questions.
Do you know what the trust is? The trust is because we are in a committed situation. I do not expect you to act on certain feelings or ideas or thoughts and whatnot. But once you want to have a conversation, it automatically means that you are gearing towards that. Whereas now there's a risk of you actually doing that thing, because whatever that is become a bit stronger, and there's a possibility that you may end up, following through with this idea
thoughts or
or whatever.
feelings.
Do you know what I'm saying? So coming back to the whole flirting, is flirting an issue? Once you start flirting, you find someone attractive and you start flirting, there's several things. You are firstly letting the person know that you are okay for things to go in that light. And that's what the problem is with flirting. You get it? Like, if you find me attractive and starting all that stuff that the
Okay.
yeah, if you start doing all that stuff, automatically in my mind I'm thinking, oh, slow down, she's on it. On it may not necessarily mean that she's hoping to have sex or whatever. It just means that she's interested. And should I respond, it can get somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? So that is the message that you send when you flirt. So that's why, like I said, the intention. And now, because you're making yourself seem available.
Right.
And that's a problem.
Okay. Let me give you guys a scenario. So let's assume that I'm in a relationship, right? Let's assume I'm in a relationship, and I have a best friend who is a guy. Now, so this best friend who is a guy, me and him have known each other for like 20 years or something. We grew up together as kids. Nothing sexual, nothing. But then when we talk, we're like, because we have so much banter, it's like we're flirting with each other. Would that be a problem if you're in a relationship with someone like that?
For me, absolutely. Sorry, go on, Jeremy.
I was about to say, once again, the key word is flirt. What is flirting? There's a difference between being friendly and being flirtatious.
Right.
Where does the line get blurred? Is the line blurred? Or do you have a certain kind of relationship that allows you to do certain things without those things? For example, there are things that you may do with your brother, right? And those things are okay. It's understood because that's your brother, so I don't think anything of it, right? So it's possible to have that kind of relationship with someone, but I think it is understood. Because once we begin to use the word flirting, then it means that intention is involved.
Right.
Because you cannot flirt without, so
Yeah.
The difference between the friendliness, the playfulness, and then the flirting. Maybe flirting is subjective to the relationship. In that case, maybe that's what we say. That the idea of flirting or being flirtatious is subjective to who you're being flirtatious with and who you're dealing with and who and maybe. So, you shouldn't flirt with anyone. But
that's so funny.
The relationship can be defined. And once the relationship is defined, there is understanding, and then the boundaries are, is clear. But should you ask, is it possible? Can you be too close to a friend, and could something happen? That's a whole different conversation. That's something that we can talk about, because it depends. It depends, but many a times it depends. If you've been childhood friends, like our childhood friends, that's understandable, because once you know someone in a certain way, it's difficult to find them attractive in a sexual way. So that's understandable.
Because you've known them that way for so long. Lola, you sound like you have a different experience.
Feelings can develop at any time. I definitely disagree with that. You can know someone for 10 years and all of a sudden you're like, this person is kind of fine now.
No, it's not solely the duration of time.
Right.
When, at what age? Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's not an absolute. It's not like it will never happen.
Right.
Or it will never happen. It can happen. It does happen. But I'm saying that more time. when you've seen someone grow, like you guys used to play together when you were young, all that stuff.
Right.
Most times, is you still have that. It's
Yeah.
like sister. Do you
It's
get it?
like a brotherly
Yeah,
Brother.
connection. Because we
Right.
played as kids. I saw like the first snort of your nose, like all of that. Like I don't need all that imagery.
Yeah,
Like no.
it's like when
That.
you have a when you have an older sister who is have come in, like she's come of age and she get picked up by guys and guys like her and all that stuff, and it starts like you. I'm gonna tell them about you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll bring you out
Mm.
because you've seen them in a certain light. Do you get it?
Right.
So it's but that kind of situation, certain things can be understood.
Right.
But when you come to someone that you met, when you've already, it doesn't matter how long you've known them for, because if a guy finds a girl attractive, like she doesn't have to be a 10. She just has to meet the mark or his mark or the mark for him, and
Yeah.
he, wouldn't mind having the opportunity to. And most times you find that's the case. The guys, so it depends. It depends on the relationship and all those details.
Yeah.
I just feel like for me, those kind of relationship in my mind is like a threat automatically. And I know that sounds so dramatic to someone because I always feel like people who have deep friendship with someone, it can easily turn into a relationship because trust me, what keeps a relationship going or what kind of like keeps the spark going and stuff like that is that deep friendship and that deep connection that you have with someone. So you have a girlfriend there or a girl that's your friend for 20 years. You have like years of memories, friend, like a lot of stuff for her. And we are in a relationship together. Honestly, in my own mind, that person is a threat. Like that's just the honest truth.
Well, even
For
if they've known
me,
them,
sorry?
well, even if they've known them since they were like children, they've been playing
That's
about
for me.
together.
That's even worse.
They've
That's the
probably,
thing.
they've probably taken, like,
It's like that's even worse.
That's the thing.
they've
Trust
probably been
me.
taking baths together when they were like babies and stuff.
No.
Like
Because
okay, what if they grew up in the same household? Like almost like siblings. No?
Yeah, like
it
moms are best
doesn't.
friends, or like moms are friends, all that stuff. All these playing days, all
That
that
is
stuff.
even the best scenario for them to like come together. Trust me, like I've seen this play out all the time. It's just that friendship that they build. They have like a solid foundation. We are just starting to build a solid foundation. They've already built foundation. They've built another level. They are there already. You get, and it's just one
Sorry.
of those.
Would you be more comfortable if the other party had a partner?
I still wouldn't be that in this 2020. Having a partner for some people is
2021.
2021. Oh,
Sorry.
for me, it's still.
So, will there ever be a instance where you can accept that your partner can have a female friend and it can be purely platonic? That they have, for example, they've had this relationship
For a while.
I've had a female best friend. I didn't meet her when I was, we met when I was like 16 or whatever. But
right.
But obviously at that point we've grown already. But we have such a relationship that so to the point where if I have like have a girl, a girlfriend or partner or whatever, she will. It's part of the custom for her to meet her. Do you understand? Like so. In that kind of situation, is it not possible to see that it's purely platonic?
I think for me, I go based on like my intuition and stuff like that. I trust my intuitions a lot, right? So in that situation, it'd be a case where I need to meet the girl. We'll all have a hangout together, right? And then I feel her vibe. I see the way she is, because I trust my intuition to let me know that this person is a major threat. They just hide because being in a relationship.
You're waiting in line.
Some people they're undercover, and that relationship they're in is just a cover for them, fam. They're still doing the most, and they'll be ready to do the most if they get the opportunity. So that doesn't face me at all. Saying that she's in a relationship, I'm like, okay, guard is still up. I think for me, it's intuition, and even if at the start I'm like, okay, yeah, right. But at any point I start feeling like, okay, she's coming for you, or she's becoming a threat to our relationship, then a conversation needs to be had. Because I feel like these are just little like cracks where, people can come in and destroy your relationship. And I know it sounds like really childish and extreme and stuff, but personally, I'm like looking at you side eye, like, why you eating that potato? I'm like looking at you with one eye, like.
I see what you mean about intuition, though. Because I see what you mean about intuition, though. Sorry, Jeremy, what were you going to say?
This whole intuition situation, not just your own insecurities and your own paranoia.
No, Jeremy, can I say something about that? No, can I just say something about that? So let me give you a scenario. So basically, I was dating this guy, right? Slightly off point, but I was dating this guy. And there was this girl that I was like, this girl likes you. He was like, no, he doesn't. No, she doesn't. We grew up together. She's my sister. She's my little sis. She's like my little sister. She's friends with my sister. Blah blah blah. I was like, this girl likes you, to the point where this girl was even trying to befriend me.
That always
she was trying to befriend me. She was trying to, try anything to get him to come over. And she'd be like, oh, you should both come over. I've been wanting to see you for a while. You're in town, blah, blah, blah. Every single time I told this dude, she likes you. He was like, no, she doesn't. She's like my little sis, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we ended things. Guess who ended up in a relationship with her? Just saying. Just saying. An extended relationship.
Can I just say something? I feel like the reason why that happens like that is because they already have a foundation and they already have this level of friendship. When you break up, guess who they're going to be talking to? How sad that they are.
No,
and the guy was thinking, oh, she's an option from me, or she's available. He's not. Sorry, the thing is cracking.
I don't think it's necessarily because they have a foundation already. Right. Obviously, they have a relationship. They have a relationship. Now, if that's what it was from the beginning, they would have been together from the beginning. By the time you came into the picture, they would have been together.
I don't know.
Saying? You made
I feel like if I wasn't in the picture, they would have.
No, it's not even that. It's the fact that sometimes what I've realized is that someone will be like, oh, we're just friends. And then you get into a relationship. And because you're in a relationship, it's like something triggers in their mind. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, I think she's attractive now. I think he's attractive now. I've seen this happen so many times. So that's why I'm like, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. I do not agree with that. Sometimes being in a relationship makes you more attractive.
Jeremy, do you not believe that intuition is a strong thing?
Oh no, I think intuition can be right sometimes. I just don't think, sometimes people can mistake their own insecurities and paranoia as intuition as well. That's what I was trying to say. That I also believe in cause and effect. Sometimes there are things that trauma that you face, disappointments that you face, situations that went a certain way and whatnot. So they've all had an impression on you. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Sometimes as you grow up or as you go forward in life, you come across situations where those things could, play out on you and so sometimes you can get a strong feeling based on a past experience or a past discomfort or a past disappointment, wherever that is. So that's what I mean. I do think, as human beings, especially being Christians, we understand that we're spirit beings, right? And our spirits can, communicate to us if we will listen. So I believe in that 100%. I also think we have to be sure when we claim that it's intuition, because these other factors could also give us convictions about situations. You know what I'm saying? But what you're saying now is, so he can't get too friendly with a friend, because in that case you would still classify that as flirting. You wouldn't see it as, oh, that's buddy, that's like they're codies and that, but you're seeing it as they're flirting as opposed to being friendly.
I think for me, because I've been in a situation as well where it was what's that?
Jeremy, you're skipping a little bit.
Yeah, you're skipping a bit. I'm struggling to hear you.
Oh, I said. So in this case, would you, if your man had a friend and they were being friendly, you know what I said about it depends on the situation. So for you, it will be straight flirting. You will see it as flirting, as opposed to them being playful because of the relationship.
No, I wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't just automatically jump and be like, oh my God, he's flirting with her and stuff like that, right? I think for me, even with the whole intuition thing you're talking about, it will be something that I would also pray about as well. Because I believe that God can expose things, even in situations where we might be a bit naive and be like, oh, there, yeah, I trust them 100%. God can show you something. You're like, bruh, what are you? You're moving mad. Like, what are you doing? Do you,
Yeah, I get that.
So I won't automatically just jump and say, okay, blah blah blah. Again, I would want to give the person the benefit of a doubt. I would want to understand, like, okay, their level of friendship, what they've gone through. I would even try to make her my friend as well, just to see like how she reacts to me. If it's kind of like a competition thing, like, oh, I know more about him than you, or some weird thing going on. For some girls, they get into that. It's like, it's not a competition, bro. Like, you are his friend, I'm his girlfriend. Let's get that clear, you get? But
Right.
I
Let's
won't
not
say like,
get
yeah,
involved.
let's know our place here, please, okay? But I think it would be something that, I would have to prayerfully, navigate through. It would be something that I would, but I won't say, okay, no, he can't have any girlfriend, because that's a bit mad as well. Because I know that some guys, they have women in their life who, they have there for like business opportunities, they have there for like, religious stuff or whatever. So I understand that. So I can't just be like, oh, you can't be friends with any girl. I'm the only girl in this world that you must be friends with. Everybody else, get rid of them. Like, that's a bit crazy. Like, that's psychotic behavior right there. But
You
it's like,
just want some assurances.
sorry?
I think you just want some assurances that
Exactly. Assurance that, okay, this, we're safe for this person. Yeah. And it will be something that's constantly reviewed as well. Just because at the start I'm sure about you doesn't mean halfway in the relationship, when you start moving mad at a function, I'm not gonna. Yes. Like, I have, and I know this sounds crazy, but I've had dreams about other girls, and I'll be like, no, never, no, Lord, no. Few months down the line, the situation plays out, and then I'm like, wow, okay. So that's why I know when I mention intuition, people are like, hey, here comes the psychotic female behavior. But no, but no, sometimes it's real. Sometimes God is like, get away from this person. Like, they are for the streets. They are not for you, And this 20-year relationship, 5-year buddy friendship, this thing, that's a whole conversation I think we need to have. We need to come back and discuss that, because I've got so much to say on that. I'm not saying don't be in a close friendship with someone, or don't have that long-standing friendship. But I'm just saying that let's just guard ourselves, okay? And let's be honest with ourselves. Let's tell ourselves the truth on some of these relationships. Because what I find is that when something's going on in your life, that's the person. You know what it is? It's this emotional connection you have with the person. And what I've even realized is that some guys are emotionally tied to their girl best friend. And that is why they are struggling to create another emotional tie with, a new girl. Because they are just saying, oh, this is a friend or whatever, but there's a soul tie that's there. Right?
Sis,
And I
that's a
know
different conversation.
that's a different conversation. Like, we need to come back here and discuss that whole friendship thingy. But yeah.
I know what you mean though, because he's known this person for so long. He's known this person for that long. It's normal for them to have a connection. They would not be friends for that long if they don't have some sort of connection emotionally anyway. But just because you have emotional connection with someone does not mean it will translate into a relationship. But at the same time, sometimes it does go that way. So it's one of those things where you have to, like, with your partner, you have to be honest with them. If you feel this emotional connection and that's something you want to explore in a relationship, then you need to be telling that partner and leave the partner out of it. Some people know that they're attracted to their best friend. They want to pursue their best friend, but their best friend is not available. So instead, they go around with someone else and be like, okay, let me try this. if you want to try this, please don't try me. Like, go back on my shoulder. Like, I just think like that's unfair to the person who, that's unfair to the person that is the new partner. If you know you're emotionally connected to this person in a way in which you want to pursue a relationship, don't waste that person's time. Just bonus points. Jeremy, what were you gonna say?
I mean, like you said, that whole topic is a whole different situation that I think we probably need to dive into to dissect to have a better understanding. Because if we keep going down that route, we might even lose a point. This
Yes.
That's true.
But yeah, sometimes we can. But yeah, coming back to obviously the whole is flirting, cheating, and whatnot. Like I mentioned, we have to define flirting. Then we also have to define cheating. What is cheating? For some people, sex is cheating. So I've met people where it's like you can do whatever. You can talk, have pillow talks, you can flirt, you can even kiss, as long as you did not have sex, you do not cheat. Right? That's what some people genuinely think. And there are those who think any sort of sexual touch or contact, be it kissing, be it touching,
holding hands, or any sort of
anything like that, they believe is cheating. And then there are those who are like, if you're talking to someone in a certain way, that's you cheating. So that would need to be defined, right? Are all these opinions correct, or is there a truth to it? If there's a truth to it, then what is the truth? Do you get it? And I think that helps us to define. Personally speaking, if you speak with someone with the intention of anything more than friendship and making them believe that anything more than friendship can happen whilst in a relationship you've cheated. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm a man, so me saying this should be, it's a big thing for me to say because I'm a guy. You understand? So it's just we have to be honest with ourselves and not kid ourselves and start behaving as though we are naive or we don't understand our actions. Our actions are actions, and we have to be responsible for our actions. And once you cross that line, someone might say that I'm just a naturally friendly person.
flirtatious.
Even if you say if you use the word flirtatious, then that means that you are aware that you have a problem. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
I'm naturally flirtatious. That means that you have a problem, and you cannot blame your partner for picking that up and for being uncomfortable with that situation, right? So, like I said, people like to be selfish, and they like to just be and behave and do things according to how they feel in the moment. And all those things happen. I've seen things like girls that say, "I didn't cheat though. We didn't have sex. I didn't cheat." I'm like,
right, but you did everything else.
Not with me, but I'm saying like generally, I've heard stories.
I know what you mean.
They did everything else, but because he did not put, the peanuts in the peanut hole, that
I love that PG analogy. Thank you very much for that.
That it was not cheating, and clearly it was, because I think if anything, emotional cheating is more powerful than any. Someone can have a one-night stand, right? For a woman to be able to have a one-night stand, there are implications in the first place with regards to the psychological state of that person, and obviously there are many people that will debate. That's great.
Yes.
However, for a woman to be able to just give herself to someone like that, there's a lot that goes into what happened in the background of in her thinking. So, but for is more concerning when she's speaking with someone consistently, finding comfort, speaking with someone, building an emotional bond with someone with the intention of, or with a romantic intention in mind, by the way, And all those things, I'm more concerned about that than the one night stand, even though the one night stand too is a problem. But so
Yeah.
yeah, for me, cheating is the moment that you just you start flipping your flipping your hair, your weave or your wig, whatever that you flip, start flipping your, trying to be like, you understand, being inviting, intentionally being inviting to, and trying to get someone's attention. I focus on the mind. What made you do that? Why did you forget yourself? If you forgot yourself or forgot the fact that you committed.
Don't forget yourself.
How do you forget yourself? Like you're just like, oh, he was
Babe.
so
No,
attractive, I forgot. I forgot I had a man.
yeah. Yes, it happens.
Yeah.
Listen, you're speaking with a guy who has, let's say I have experiences where.
No. No, don't forget yourself. Like what? No.
Where people got caught up in the moment, and they were good people. It's not as though they planned or they were cheaters. Like people who saw that they would never cheat and whatnot, and being in the moment. Clearly, obviously, I did not care because I was just trying to get, but they in the moment, forgot or not forget, but gave in to the moment.
Right. So they got carried away and they showed
Exactly.
this.
So it's possible for that to happen, but when that happens, my thing is, did you get too close to Sodom? That's one.
That's a good one.
That's a word, actually.
Then number two, what place in your mind and in your heart do I occupy that it was possible for you to forget about your commitment to me and our commitment to each other? Do you know what I'm saying? So to me, that in itself is an intention. It's like there's a problem already, and because of this problem, you were able to get into this state where these things could happen. Do you know what I'm saying? So it brings questions, even if I'm with a girl and while we're together, she doesn't do certain things, but when she goes out to certain places where and then she's, then I'm looking on Instagram and I swear that I'm like, I've not seen her.
Yeah, like that's my babe.
that is a cause for concern. Obviously, people may say that, oh, maybe she's with that. No. Yeah, I know women dress for other women. I get it. We understand it. But once you put yourself in a situation where it's possible for you to now start inviting them, so for me, that's where it's. Once you start flirting with someone, you've already opened yourself to do it. That means you intend to go down that route.
Yeah. So and I mean, sorry, your something is breaking up, so I'm like,
yeah,
are you
there's like a lapse in your thing.
Well, carry on, that's fine.
But what I wanted to say is that I think for me, like you rightly said, like what place is your partner holding in your mind that you're able to get carried? Like for me, that's not an excuse. I could never accept I got carried away. Because in my head, I'm like, I don't get carried away that I'm in a relation. Like for me, that is just never. I understand that it happens. You get caught up in a moment. But for me, that's not an excuse that I'll be like, yeah, okay, right, you got carried away. Well done. Well done.
I mean, if we were to, because now the question is flirting cheating, right? In my opinion, it is. To me, it doesn't necessarily mean that because the person cheated, right, that things have to go in a certain way, because there are problems or there are issues that can be addressed sometimes.
Right.
And there are things that probably have not been addressed, which enabled certain situations. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I wouldn't say, but my thing would not necessarily be that it must go a certain way. Do you know what I'm saying? but the interest is that there is a problem, and I can see that there's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Even in how you are carrying yourself in my absence. Like when I'm in a relationship, you know, and they I've naturally been drawn to women with body and stuff, you know. So
Where is this going?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Mhm.
I'm trying to do this
No, be
communication.
honest. Don't mind us. Be honest with us. No, carry
I'm trying
on.
to do this conversation in the most PG way
Okay.
possible. But
Yes.
yeah, naturally attracted to women, and some of them like to dress a certain way. So what I say to them is that it's fine, but you know, maybe this, and that is best to do that when we're together. I don't mind. But in my absence, you probably should not wear certain things.
I
Right?
feel like that's a different deal.
That's
That's
a
a topic
different
for a
because
different deal. But I
In
think
my
that's
in my
definitely
absence,
something we should explore. A conversation we
because
definitely should explore.
yeah, because then being a guy, I know how guys think. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I understand how, whether it's verbal or non-verbal or whatever, they're always communicating something to people. The impression that you give.
right.
I've been in a place with an ex, well, somebody who's not an ex before, and a guy came and grabbed her from behind.
Okay.
Like,
And what happened?
oh, I think he realized, you know, the situation, and he changed his mind. But the point
What did he
is,
apologize?
the
I
sex.
feel like I really, really hate that. Just regardless of what someone is wearing, you have no right to
No, right.
come.
Oh,
Absolutely.
no. I do not say that what she's wearing gave him a right to do that. It just means that there is an impression that she's already given him, right?
Yeah.
And there is already, if they had not known each other, he wouldn't have done that. Do you understand what
Oh,
I'm
they
saying?
knew each
I
other.
know guys. Yeah, they knew each other.
Oh
They
no,
knew
no.
each
Can
other.
I just say, guys do it even if you don't know them. It's happened to me
I
before.
realize.
So yeah, just saying.
I
Yeah,
realize. Yeah, those guys, they have issues, but that's an issue
yeah.
in this country.
And they need to be in
But
jail.
It's
That's where
true.
they need to
You
be.
have it. It's true.
no, because you know, you go to the club with guys and girls are passing, they grab them by the arm like this and pull them. And I'm not sure what kind of girls or what caliber of girls those things work on, but clearly not the kind of girls that I relate with. So, you know, but they
Period.
they the
That's
point I
it.
was trying to make is this: guy will not come and grab you like that, but he may feel like he should approach you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you know, naturally, you do not expect somebody who, in their mind, that they are taking to put themselves out in a certain way. Now we can debate and say, you know, a woman can dress as she pleases. She can, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that her dressing too would not communicate a message to people. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So then I'm aware that if you go out looking this way or go out dressed this way or whatever, in my absence, guys will approach you, assuming that you're single. And you know, like we just said, sometimes people get caught up in the moment. So, you know, you minimize opportunities for things to happen as much as you possibly can or as much as it's within your control. That's what I'll say. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think for me, like, I feel like it might not necessarily be cheating, but it is inappropriate. Like, if you have respect for your partner, you have no business being in a relationship and flirting with someone else.
What
It's just,
what what is the definition of inappropriate? What makes it like what
I,
makes it
I, I think for me, if you're not going to do it when I'm there, why are you doing it when I'm not there?
Absolutely.
that comes back to intention, no?
What's that?
It comes back to intention.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like everything comes back to intention, to be honest.
That's
Because
it.
the thing is, like, I understand sometimes you're having a conversation with someone, you might not think it's flirtatious. I might see it. Flirtation sometimes could be subjective. I might see that and think, oh, wow, you're flirting. And you're like, oh, no, I'm not. Like, that was definitely not my intention. That's different. But then there are some people who say that, but deep down, they know they're flirting. but they refuse to admit that they're flirting, would instead say, oh no, you got the wrong impression. Like,
100%.
no, sis, we know the impression you were trying to give. So yeah, I just think like what you're not going to do when I'm there, standing right there next to you, don't do it when I'm not there.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of this thing I saw on Instagram. A girl wearing tights and stuff, and then she's taking a picture from behind, and then the caption, something about God. He will always make you stronger. That God is. I'm like, wait, what is the correlation?
Oh my
God.
I feel like, can we stop doing this in 2021?
You were trying
Like,
to bum.
stop posting pictures of your bum and putting captions about God. Stop it.
And it's fine. It's fine
I just don't get the point.
You get it. It's fine. It's okay that you want to show your bum. Just own it. You know. Just take it.
If you don't know what to write, I advise that you find a quote online, copy the quote, put the quote in there, and leave it there.
Oh my
God,
God.
you know.
Let's just take ownership. But that's the case. I think, especially in this country, if you go to America, it's a little bit more different because they're a lot more bolder with the intentions and stuff. You know, in this country, it's almost like a taboo for a girl to show interest in a guy first. You know, then girls like, why must I? Why must I? But somewhere like in America, if a girl's feeling you, she'll let you know that she's feeling you. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. It's that culture that I think exists here. So people are not necessarily honest with themselves, and they are not, as a result, they're not honest with people. So they like to do things, but they even like to convince themselves that that's not what they're doing.
That's not what they're doing, because they can't really be bold about their intentions.
And they know it's wrong. They know it's wrong, and they don't want to feel guilty as well. So they do not want to accept that that's what they're doing. But at the end of the day, by their fruits you shall know them.
You shall know them. Oh my God.
So, like, guys, in rounding up, is there anything you wanted to share today in rounding up today's topic? Do you have any advice for someone who's a naturally charming individual? Or are you just like, stop flirting, sis?
Stop doing flirting, no. I think final word from me is just to communicate with your partner, whoever you're in a relationship with, just communicate with them. I mean, you don't have to be as explicit, like, oh my God, I like this person, I want to do this with them. Like, obviously not. But just communicate, where you feel like you need to communicate. And I think people in relationship, we need to be extremely honest with ourselves. You have a girl that is your friend, you have a guy that is your friend, and you're texting them, oh, I miss you so much. Oh, I wish you were here. And you're telling your partner that, oh, we've been friends for 20 years. We do this all the time. It's nothing. Or worse of it, or, oh, they're in a relationship. I miss their family. I even tell them that I miss their dad too. I miss their family so much. Please be honest with yourself in a relationship, because what you're doing is you're actually disrespecting your partner. If you're watching this right now and you are like, oh, that's okay, that is not okay. You are disrespecting your relationship and your partner. And you're making the other person who you're doing missy, you're making them see your relationship as nothing but what you're just like, oh, well, if they can say that to me, or if they can talk like this to me, then they clearly don't respect their boyfriend, they clearly don't respect their girlfriend. So, and I think one of the last things I'll say as well is, if you're in a situation where you're in a relationship with a guy, a relationship with a girl, and you find yourself becoming attracted to someone else to the point where you want to explore things with them, please do not remain in that relationship. Make sure that you break things off before you jump to the next one. And I know this, a lot of people, oh, we've been together for 5 years, 6 years. Before we start calling you a cheater, before everyone knows that you are on the streets, the best thing for you to do, is end things. Because the truth and honest thing is, if you're flirting with someone else, then that means your emotions are not even with your partner anymore. That means there's something up there.
For the ladies, yes. For guys, not necessarily.
For me, not necessarily. I'm just saying.
I'm thinking for girls.
Aisha, is that you? Yeah?
No, to be fair, I don't flirt when I'm in a relationship with someone. So I don't flirt with someone else when I'm in a relationship with someone. But I'm saying, like, as me, if I wanted to flirt with someone, if I wasn't in a relationship, then that's different. That's why I'm just trying to express that just because it doesn't have to be serious for certain people. Sometimes it's just a playful flirtation. It's not that serious. They don't want anything further. It's just, you know, you're attractive, we're talking banter.
That's fine if you're
But when
single.
you're in a relationship, it's inappropriate.
Yes, please deal with it. Please, we don't want to be saying you are a cheater, you're on the street. Just remove yourself, okay? So that's my 2 cents advice for everyone.
Interesting.
Well,
right.
If you consider yourself as being naturally charming,
mm-hmm.
then you understand that in this world, not everybody thinks like you.
Right.
You have to understand that your actions may be interpreted in a different manner than you intended to. You know, so like I said, we are always communicating. Our body language communicates, even how our face is communicates. So people are always receiving signals from you, and you don't want to give the wrong signals. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be friendly, but it means you have to be mindful of how you relate with people, especially when you're in a relationship. Especially then, because people may get the wrong impression. So you have to watch how you relate with the opposite sex, unless you well, we're Christians, so I can't say that unless you bang for the same team.
So you cannot be right. So no, totally get that. I think I agree with you in the sense that, like, you know, communication, and also like you have no business flirting with someone if you're in a relationship with someone else. There's no point. Like, it's inappropriate. If it doesn't turn into cheating, it could. So it's like, why put yourself through that? Sorry, say that again.
Unless you're trying to cheat, in that case, if you were.
You have no business cheating. Break up.
Just accept that you want to cheat, and then do.
Imagine I want to cheat. I'm going to cheat.
Yeah, like own it.
Own it so that at least you know it's a problem, and then you can address the problem. But obviously, if you go and cheat, there
will be consequences.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I think it's one of those things where just have more respect for other people. Like, if someone did that to you, you would not be cool with it. Someone you're in a relationship with was flirting all around the streets, you will not be cool with that. So it's like, don't do what you would be cool with. If you want to flirt, like Lola said, fam, leave the relationship, just pack your load and just say, this is not it. I want to flirt. This is what I want to do.
I want to flirt. Do it.
I want to cheat. So let me get out now while I still can, so I can go and flirt and cheat unprovoked. You know, like, just tell your partner and let your partner decide. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just unfair to continue to string someone along and, you know, expect a level of commitment that you yourself aren't willing to give.
Well, I would say that if you feel like you want to flirt, it's an indication that there's something wrong either with you or with your relationship. And if you have a stink following you, regardless of where you carry that same stink with you, so it's better to deal with it instead of just jumping, because if you're not faithful with a little, you'll not be faithful with much.
Yes, it's scriptural, people. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on today. Truly appreciate your time. Thank you guys. All right, guys, thank you so much. That's it from us. Make sure you subscribe, tap that bell for notifications, give us a thumbs up. Lola also has a YouTube channel, so do check out Lola's YouTube channel. Also, we're on the table. Some of you might have seen clips on Christian therapy, and I'm sure you've seen Jeremy's face. So yeah, find us on Truth Central. I will put the description. I'll put the details in the description bar below, guys. So yeah, thank you guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.